I think it is clear to believe in the power of ideas.
Fresh thinking of the Manhattan Institute.
It's remarkable how few people have a clear picture of how critical electricity is in the lives all across the country, but nowhere more so in the city. If you don't know, we pour as much raw energy into generating electricity in this country as we do into well more than we pour into our cars, considerably more. It's as large as the entire oil sector in terms of the raw energy that goes into it, and it is far more critical to the functioning of daily life. The oil system shut down, the pipelines, the pumps, and so on. When the electricity goes, your home heating system shut down. It is really absolutely crucial, and nowhere more so in the city. The other remarkable thing about electricity is how invisible it is to most people. This wasn't always so, but if you track the history of electricity over a century, from the days when Edison started right here in Wall Street putting up the first grid, there was a time, if you look at the old pictures of the city, there was this canopy, a forest of wires across the overhead wires, of course, over the streets, the power plants visible and noisy right in this city, and you've just, over a century, you've just watched the infrastructure of electricity recede to the point where it is, for most people, a Cheshire cat. You just don't see anything but the smile. There's this happy little outlet you plug in, things light up, and you just don't worry about it. And of course, for policymakers, it has then become the same thing. You just take it for granted. It's going to happen. It will be there. And there's this vast infrastructure underneath making it all tick. It's certainly the largest physical infrastructure on the planet, our national grid and all its bits, with the possible exception of the highway system. It is enormously important, and it requires fantastic amounts of very skilled engineering and constant work, and it is very low on the policy radar screen, and this creates problems. People just aren't paying sufficient attention to the nitty-gritty of how you govern and regulate this in ways that allow it to grow. There's a very interesting political consensus now emerging between the people who want to get over carbon and the people who want to get oil. Electricity will certainly be at the center of that. We see a convergence of electricity and the transportation sector, the two very large sectors of our energy economy. It's extremely important. If I guess this was embargoed. I was going to say, if you haven't read this yet, you really should. This is really a first-class paper, and it's extremely important in a very practical way. It is beautifully written. It's full of very pretty pictures. I commend it to you very strongly. I will say no more, but let me just say a few words about its author. Hope Cohen is a deputy director of the Manhattan Institute's Center for Rethinking Development. She focuses on a variety of development issues in the city. Before that, she was in the public sector. She worked with the MTA. She is a volunteer in the public sector as well. She's a member of Community Board 7 on the Upper West Side. As with all our panelists, she has a fuller bio in your package. I now give you Hope Cohen.
Thank you, Peter. Let's see if I can switch programs here for a moment. Yeah, I'm going to start with a brief video clip to introduce our topic today.
Gentlemen, enjoy your new power substation.
This is terrible. I thought I was going to live next to a powerful man. Now I just live next to power.
It's not all bad. At least we'll get fresh electricity.
I know it's ugly, but living next door to a power station means our baby will probably grow up to have superpowers.
And that will come in handy. Lucky's always getting pinned under cars.
Ah, there she is, my substation. God, I love saying my substation.
That thing is a god-dang eyesore. I mean, I don't want Ted's monstrosity back, but this is a residential neighborhood after all.
Well, I do know of a legal precedent involving a public utility and a dairy farm. I'll tell you on one condition. Nobody messes with my plaque.
I swear, if it wasn't for the possibility of being electrocuted, I'd buy this house.
Well, I'll take a fake house over a big, ugly one any day.
So you really only get electrocuted if you're in the house. The idea is that it's not dangerous if you're outside the house. So this is the kind of substation the guys in King of the Hill were confronted with. Electrical equipment naked to the